Yeah. She's going to be spotted, I think, on Cape Cod. And she's going to be swallowing up massive amounts of money. Joining me now to talk about this is famed shark hunter and chairman of the state's Republican Party, Kirsten Hughes. Good morning, Kirsten.
Good morning, Jim. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Good. I'm glad to play the Jaws theme. That's the 40th anniversary this year, so it's very, very fitting.
Very appropriate. And I'm not making light of what's going on down in North Carolina. I'm making light of a great white Democrat swallowing up massive amounts of cash on Cape Cod over this holiday weekend. Am I correct?
Yeah, Hillary Clinton's going to be here today. She's got a lot of events lined up, lots of cash she's willing to take from donors, and it's unbelievable the shame factor here. She has none, and so we're just watching, and people get the drill with the Clintons by now. They know what they're about, and it's about consolidating power and keeping it. So we'll see how it goes today for her.
I hate to disagree with you, but I don't think people do know what she's about. Or if they are, they're not paying attention. And I know that my colleagues in the mainstream media are not holding her accountable, even though she ignores them. She insults them by doing the worst thing you can do to a journalist, ignore them. They hate that because they feel so self-important. And having been one and worked with a lot of one, I've seen it. But she's not being held accountable. And I don't think people are getting the message. We find out today about more emails, that she couldn't even operate a fax machine. She didn't know when the cabinet meetings were. She was a disaster as Secretary of State. And yet, it's almost like this, Kirsten. So I have to disagree with you. I don't think people are getting the message.
Well, I definitely think there's a tone of just a coronation on the other side. And so the media is just thinking she's a foregone conclusion, but clearly we see in polling that's not the case. And Bernie Sanders is starting to close in on her, which is another interesting thing. But, the Clintons and Hillary Clinton in particular get a pass, and we know from history here in Massachusetts that giving candidates passes that look like they're the presumptive nominee of their party doesn't always work out good in the general election. So.
No, it doesn't. I mean, and look, let's also be honest here. Republicans have to raise a lot of money too, and if a Republican was coming to the Cape, I'm sure I'd say, hey, welcome. Have a great time. Raise as much money as you can. But Hillary's got fertile ground here in the Commonwealth, even though we elected a great Republican governor and lieutenant governor. The Commonwealth is still a liberal stronghold. We got Lizzie Warren, who maybe won't be showing up at one of these fundraisers, but we got Lizzie Warren representing us. We got Jim McGovern in this district representing us, Jim McGovern from Havana. So listen, this is fertile Clinton ground.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you bring up Senator Warren, who clearly is not, out there stumping for Hillary Clinton on the campaign trail quite yet.
Yeah.
And, she's an example of somebody who is the far left of the party and, not in line with mainstream folks. And so she's coming out on the really liking what Bernie Sanders has to say track. And that's not surprising to me. I'm sure it's not surprising to you. But I think it just highlights how far left Elizabeth Warren is, and how, again, this is going to be a race to the left on the Democratic side coming up for 2016.
It may. I mean, we've got basically three basketball teams on the Republican side running for president. But here's what I worry about, Kirsten, and you're chairman of the party in the Commonwealth. You're absolutely right. Lizzie is siding with Bernie. But you know what Democrats do that I don't think Republicans do? And it was proven in the last presidential election. Democrats, blood is thicker than water. If Hillary gets it, Liz Warren is going to be out there working for her no matter what. In the Republican Party, last time, if Republicans hadn't stayed home, Mitt Romney would have been president of the United States. I don't think Republicans are as good at rallying the troops when it comes to the final election as the Democrats are.
Well, I think they're sick and tired of what's going on, and after 8 years of Barack Obama, what may have been true for some Republicans in the past and 4 years ago is not going to be true this time. I think you're going to see them get out and vote for our party's nominee. I know a couple of the presidential contenders on the Republican side have said, listen, if it's not me, I'm out there supporting the Republican nominee, because we have to make a change, and we can't allow this country to fall into the hands again of the Clintons and retreading some of that just bad blood from the 90s, the secretive, untrustworthy rapport that they were able to build up in the White House in the 90s. Well, no, people don't want to return to that, and certainly Republicans, whether they disagree on some issues or not, don't want that either. So I think you will see a change in tone, hopefully, and from Republicans and from voters.
I hope you're right, Kristen. I hope you're absolutely right, and I hope that you do everything you can to get all those votes out, because you're right. Not only do I not want a continuation of the Obama legacy, I certainly do not want a return to the shenanigans of the Clinton family. Kristen Hughes, chair of the state's GOP. Kristen, thanks so much. Have a happy 4th.
Thanks, you too, Jim, to you and your listeners.
All righty. 7:31, 63 degrees.